Hello and welcome to the weather update. It's 10 o'clock and it is August 30th, 2023. And as you saw at the beginning of the video, I just wanted to show you a loop what it looked like earlier with these two storms. And now this is much later, and you can see how much Idalia has moved. It is now over South Carolina. You can see it's almost starting to blow up a little more over the water, so it's starting to already redevelop possibly over the ocean. Here's Franklin, still with that huge eye as it's moving east. It's incredible to see this. It really is. So let me just back this up. We'll do a 60-frame loop here. Should get an idea. Here's the cold front that's... We're going to try to clear it out, but we have the cloud cirrus, obviously, from Idalia now overhead. Here's Franklin, still looking very impressive. There's Bermuda. And again, Franklin's so big, you can fit the entirety of Nassau County in the eye of Franklin. That's how big Franklin is. It's pretty incredible, really. Looking at the radar presentation here, still see plenty of heavy rain here affecting South Carolina and North Carolina. It's still a tropical storm, Idalia. So let's get to the latest from the National Hurricane Center on Idalia, and then we'll go to Franklin. So latest public advisory on tropical storm Idalia. It is over southern South Carolina. Flood threat continues over Georgia and the Carolinas. As of 8 p.m., its location is 32.7 north, 80.9 west, about 60 miles west of Charleston, South Carolina. Maximum sustained winds are now down to 65 miles an hour. That's still a pretty strong tropical storm. It's moving northeast at 21 miles an hour. Minimum sunshine pressure is 985 millibars to 9.09 inches. And the extent of tropical storm force winds have now expanded out to 205 miles from the center. A sustained wind of 39 miles an hour with a gust of 50 miles an hour recently reported at Foley, South End, South Carolina near Charleston. The estimated minimum central pressure is 985 millibars to 9.09 inches. Let's go take a look at some satellite. We'll start with Idalia first. This is the satellite now, looking definitely a lot different, very much more disorganized, but still lots of convection going on. So once this thing reemerges out over the ocean, I think it could become a hurricane again. So that's Idalia. And again, here is the track from Idalia. And you'll see here they have it going out in the ocean. They don't have it becoming a hurricane again. I beg to differ. I think it could. I think it could definitely become and it could threaten Bermuda. And then it slowly kind of has, and some of the models have it going. We'll look at the spaghetti models here. Some of the models have it going. Let's see. Or maybe they've backed off on that idea. All right, they've backed off on that idea. Some of it just have it slowly moving or lingering. Some of them actually take it back toward the west again. Because, again, this is what happens when you don't have a jet stream, a normal jet stream pattern. These storms just, they don't know what to do, you know? And that's what's going on with Idalia. Now let's move on to Hurricane Franklin. Franklin is still a hurricane, and it will be for quite some time. It's still pretty respectable hurricane here. As of 8 p.m., sustained tropical storm force winds reach Bermuda as Franklin passes to the north. Dangerous surf and rip current conditions continue along the mid-Atlantic and northeastern United States coast, which we're seeing and we saw yesterday, and that will probably continue. It could continue into the weekend, perhaps, at least the first part of it. As of 8 p.m., its location 34.4 north, 65.2 west, about 140 miles north of Bermuda. Maximum sustained winds are 105 miles an hour. It's moving east-northeast at 14 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure is 961 millibars to 8.38 inches. And I'm sure Franklin is a large storm. So now, Mac, let's see. The hurricane force winds now extend outward up to 45 miles from the center, and the tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 175 miles from the center. And a weather station at the Bermuda airport recently reported a sustained wind of 39 miles an hour with a gust of 52 miles an hour. So let's now take a look at Franklin, and we'll look at some more here. We're going to look at some more satellite views here. So let's go to Franklin, and then we'll go back to Idalia. So here's Franklin. Look at that thing, and here we are right here. Here's Long Island. So be glad it's moving away. But what a storm! If this thing could have, if this storm came at us, it could have still been a Category 3 when it got here. So, but thank God it is moving away. But it's having some big, and look again at that big eye. Really impressive. Really impressive to see such a big eye on it. Let's now go to the... In fact, I want to change this. Let's go to GLM flash intensity. I want to look at this for a moment, too, as well. This kind of shows the lightning. We're seeing any lightning around the eye of Franklin. No. It looks like it is starting to maybe weaken a little more, but still plenty of lightning associated with Idalia. And you can see out over the water especially, which is why I think it's going to regain strength once it moves out over the ocean. So let's go to the Idalia. So here's Idalia, and you see here it is again. This is the loop. You can see it kind of coming in here and going up, and it's moving pretty quickly. It's the good news is it is getting picked up, by the jet stream, whatever jet stream we have, and it is getting picked up. But then that jet stream is going to kind of die out once it moves out a little further out into the ocean. Luckily, it is going to get shifted east because, again, if this thing were to come up the coast, it could be quite bad for us. But fortunately, that's not what's happening. And again, we'll go to the latest on Idalia here from the Hurricane Center. Let's go here. Where's the Hurricane Center? That's Tropical Tidbits. Okay, let me go over here. The Hurricane Center. Going back to Idalia. So it's moving. It's still moving northeast, however. So we haven't seen that eastward curve yet. Hopefully it happens. I think it will. Let's go look at these spaghetti models for Idalia. Yeah, it should happen. So here we go. They're all agreeing it's going to take it east. But again, you see here again. This is very unusual to see this. To see that kind of, it could sit there, and we'll wind up talking about that too. Here's Here's the spaghetti models for Franklin. It might even impact Greenland or Iceland, perhaps, in some form. It's absolutely crazy, huh? So let's go now to the impact here of Idalia, and looking at the impact, we're going to go over the power outages. Florida, all right, they're down 163,000, so they're already restoring power. But you see here, these counties in dark, like maroon, where the power is completely out. That's where they've had total heavy devastation from those strong Category 3 winds. And if we go into Georgia, we're also going to see that in the southern part of the state as well. You see a lot of these counties are completely out of power. It's going to take, again, there's substantial, we don't know if there's damage to the transmission system or not. We will go ahead and, I guess, look at that. Or what are the electric companies here? We have, one of them, I believe, is, let's see, Taylor County. Let's see, it's, Duke and Tri-County Electric Co-op. So we can go look at Tri-County Electric Co-op here and see if this will actually take us to there. I'm going to have to Google it probably, right? The Electric Co-op. Let's see what we got here. And we could see if they have anything on... I don't have anything on Twitter. So, what the case is, significant damage in this area. There was also a lot of flooding, too, all around. I shared the videos of what it looked like when this thing came on shore. So we could just go here at Idalia here, tropical storm. This is a picture here of a flooded town. It looks like there's a fire there. A hurricane Idalia reaches South Carolina after barreling through. And it's also catastrophic storm makes landfall. Just looking at some of the news here that's coming out about Idalia here. So this is what's going on here. So this is what's going on. So you can see here. So yeah, it's quiet. And I was following it a lot last night. And if I'm a little burned out, I am. So it's kind of hard for me to continue to talk about it. But here's South Carolina. You can see also power still going out here. And I'm kind of curious as to what the peak wind gusts were in Idalia when it made landfall. That's what I'm kind of curious about. So let's go to I guess the weather service for the hardest hit area would be Tallahassee. So let's go over there and we'll go to their weather service and see if they have any storm warnings are canceled. But let's see if they have anything on their Twitter about the wind gusts that affected the area. You can see here this is some of the damage, by the way, the pictures. So we have lots of trees down, structure damage, significant power outage, obviously. Praying for everybody here. And Horseshoe Beach also, you can see the water, just total devastation here. You can see the water and everything. It's really something to see. And this is a little video here from where it made landfall. Keaton Beach is where it made landfall. It's a Category 3 storm with winds near 125 miles an hour. There's the storm surge. It's, again, very, you can see insanity in that eye wall right there. I'm just kind of curious about um, wind gusts, but I don't know. I don't have a link to any peak wind gust readings that I'd like. Let's see if we can go maybe into the text products and maybe we can find some wind gusts here. Of course, local storm reports text. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Perry. They're talking about storm damage. You can see all the storm damage. There was a gust to 81 miles an hour, nearly 5 inches of rain at one site. A gust to 83 at another one. And again, winds are so strong that 86 mile an hour wind gusts. When you're dealing with winds like this, it's going to damage anemometers and wind recording equipment. So we're probably not going to know the true, unless some storm chasers were able to get. Sometimes they have hardened. Look at that, 7 inches in one spot. So a lot of rain. So let's go to the weather map here, and you'll see we still have, further up, we still have tropical storm warnings and flash flood warnings in effect up along the Carolina coast. And let's go look at some of the observations right now because the storm is still going, and we're still seeing some strong winds here. Look at this, 79 mile an hour wind at this buoy here. No, I'm sorry, a 49 mile an hour wind gust at this buoy. This buoy here, gusting up to 56, wave height 16 feet. So now we're going to start seeing the flooding happening in the coastal flooding along the Georgia coast, the Carolina coast. You're going to start seeing that coastal flooding. 38 mile an hour wind gust here at North Myrtle Beach. East wind gusting to 38. So we're going to start to see, again, those strong winds affecting the Carolinas, which is what is happening now. Let's look at the rainfall because that was the other thing. We're going to go all the way out to 36 hours. Why not? And we'll take a look at some of these rainfall numbers that we have for you because, again, it wasn't just the wind. You can see some areas got 7 inches of rain. That eye wall, literally the rain was coming down so hard you could see in the video that you couldn't see anything in front of you. So that's that's like 5 inches an hour rain. It's an incredible amount of rain. So you can see a 7 inches, 6 inches. So this is going to cause a lot of flash flooding. There's rivers over here, and you can see the heavy rain amounts continue into the Carolinas. So yeah, this is the kind of, and southern Georgia as well. Savannah, over 6 inches of rain in Savannah, Georgia. So those areas were hit very hard. And again, I'm wondering if Savannah is sort of over here. It doesn't look like they have a total power outage there, but definitely significant power outage numbers in these counties. A lot of power out and a lot of damage to the power infrastructure. Again, we'd like to see some more from some of these. Let's see if we can. I know Clay Electric Co-op was another one. Let's look at Clay Electric here, cooperative, and see if they have anything here. So it says here, crews work to get lights back on. Let's see, Clay Electric. So here we go. Let's go to the Clay Electric Cooperative here and see if they have any Twitter. They don't have any Twitter either, huh? Jeez. All right. I have some Facebook posts here showing some of the damage here. Well, that might not be a picture. I don't know. But we'll see. It's mostly on the distribution end, but could be some on the transmission end. Well, you know what? We'll talk about that more, I think. Well, I don't really want to talk about Idalia anymore. I'm sorry. That's what I'm trying to kind of get information here and see what we can. Let me go back to the power outage map here and see if we can get some more information. Again, to some of these hard-hit counties. In fact, we could just go over here. We have Clay Electric. There was another one that was hit very hard. That lost a lot of their people. Forgot which one it was. I think it was Suwannee. Yeah, they're still out. Suwannee Valley Electric Cooperative. So that was another area that was hit very hard. So if we look at Suwannee Valley Electric here, it was another hit very hard here. Let's see if they have any. Yeah, they have a Twitter. So let's see if they have any pictures of some of this account doesn't exist, so they don't have a Twitter account apparently. All right, that's not good. Well, maybe they have an Instagram account. See some of the pictures of some of them. They're not really showing too many pictures of the damage. So you can see there's showing a pole down. There's not really a whole lot of pictures going on over there. So whatever the case is, it's a disaster zone in this area, and it includes southern Georgia as well. We have a lot of people out of power as well in Georgia. If we go look at some of the power companies here, you have Georgia Power. You have Satilla REMC that are affected as well. Georgia Power seems like it's getting most of the outages right now. But again, really significant storm. Damaged, mostly on the distribution unit, it looks like, because they do have a pretty hard transmission system and concrete and reinforced steel poles. I don't see how that would go down, but definitely on the distribution end. The trees are just flying everywhere in those kind of winds. So it's pretty crazy when you think about it. So let's go look at the MODIS here, and you'll again see these two storms. Here's Franklin, and here is Idalia. And you can see, yep, there's some wildfire smoke, actually a lot of it. And this is what we're going to have to watch now as we try to get into some nice weather. This may spoil our skies. We have lots of wildfire activity going on. This is the other disaster going on in Northwest Territories, just south of Yellowknife right here. Really very bad situation. And again, they've evacuated all these people. And there's still, look at all this smoke here over Alberta, too. So all this smoke looks like it could be heading in our direction. And again, there's Franklin, and what's that? That looks like something over there. I got to go back to the NHC if we have do we have another storm out there? No, this is Tropical Tidbits. My mistake. Where's NHC? We have 11. So 11 could wind up becoming something. And we'll have to, I guess that's 11. That's what we're looking at right now. And they're still watching other areas as well. So let's go back to the observations, and we'll shift gears and look at the kind of day we had today. I know we had some showers in the morning. It was kind of hot today. And you can see there's that surf. There's that surf advisory. So high surf advisory remains in effect until 6 p.m. Thursday. So it's 6 p.m. through to, excuse me, 6 p.m. tomorrow. So let's get some observations here. And I don't know why they're not showing up. Why they're not showing up here. Come on. Come on. There we go. So let's go look at iSlip here. 73. That's not iSlip. 73 at iSlip. The dew point's down to 59. Let's go look at what the day was like at iSlip. And you can see we got well into the 80s today. And the dew points were starting off in the afternoon. It was still humid. The humidity didn't start dropping until later. Northwest winds coming in. The humidity is dropping as this drier air mass moves into the area. We'll go look at our highs and our precipitation for the day. So highs, you see mid-80s generally everywhere. Lows probably didn't drop that much, obviously. Probably, surprised West Hampton got down to 64, but everybody else is generally in the around 70 degrees for lows. So let's look at our climate statistics for today here. iSlip. iSlip got up to, so iSlip was 2 degrees above normal for the day, 82 and 66. Let's look at Central Park. And Central Park was 3 degrees above normal, 83 and 70. So let's take a look at the models here. All right, and we're going to look again at the, in fact, I'm just going to change this to Eastern U.S. I thought I changed it to Eastern U.S. Let's try that again. All right, so here again is Franklin. Here's Idalia. This is the GFS. And you can see it almost looks like Idalia is chasing Franklin. Franklin is, again, continuing to move due east. Idalia moves out over the ocean, and it could strengthen again. Even though the models suggested it'll strengthen, I wouldn't put anything past anything, because we see, the models actually did a decent job predicting the path of the storm, and but they underestimated the strength of it, I think. But they did a good job with the path. But you see what the GFS is doing. So we have this big high building in, and it's going to actually push it due south. And now you've got a block here. The high is blocking this. And this high could be a problem, because now the high is blocking it, and it's sitting and it's spinning. And look, it almost looks like it takes a run at us in the first week of September. And then this thing is going to be sitting in the Atlantic for a very long time in some form, and it will cause high surf even if it doesn't hit us. And again, this is all because, well, let's look for the jet stream, and you'll see why we have this problem. So 250 MB wind. Oh my gosh, there is almost no wind up there. There's no wind for this thing to go. Again, where's the jet stream? Let's go to the European and see if that looks any different. And I'll go to the 12Z run of the European. I don't think it does. It's showing the lack of wind, but it takes Idalia away, I think. Let me look at the surface on the European's got a little more of a westerly push, so it takes it out, I think. Nope, European does the same thing. It loop-de-loops it, but it's further away. So the models just don't know what to do with this thing right now. And that's the thing that makes it hard. If we go look at the Atlantic, let's go to the Atlantic view. Change the regions to North Atlantic. I guess we would have to use the North Atlantic view. So you can get this is a little more zoomed out here. You get an idea of these storm systems. So if we look at Franklin first of all. Here's Franklin. Who knows where that could head up into Greenland, or and here's Idalia again. And look, there it's forming more storms. The Cape Verde is starting to happen too. So we have a very active situation. This is not good. Also, when we have the lack of a strong westerly push in this area, because if there's no wind and these storms come, they could approach the East Coast. So ways out, obviously, but you know, it's not nearly over yet for us, and I'm really concerned this is going to be the year we're going to get hit hard by a hurricane. I am very concerned about it. But anyway, enough of the long range, and I really don't want to get too much into the long range. Let's go to the short range here and look at our weather we're going to have next couple of days here. So you can see Idalia here in the HRRR. Rain stays well to the south, though we may see some clouds, and that high builds over us and gives us some nice weather. Let's look at the dew points. So you see the dew points are dropping now, north winds. So we have north winds, really nice dry air that comes in tomorrow afternoon. Dew points could drop in the 40s with northeast winds. And then on Friday, we continue with northeast winds, turning to the southeast later on. And that probably could bring in a little more moisture, slightly more moisture, but not to the point of being uncomfortably humid. Tonight, temperatures will probably drop to around 60. Tomorrow, highs only in the mid to upper 70s. It should be very nice and cool. Tomorrow night is going to be very nice and cool. Most people will be able to turn off the air conditioner because lows are probably going to get down to the mid 50s, but here, probably not. As Friday, temperatures maybe upper 70s, maybe near 80 inland. Let's go look at the GFS now. Dew points here as we go into, and you see the dew points here, and they stay low even on the weekend. And even though we have a southwest wind develop by Saturday, you'll see dew points stay manageable. Maybe by Sunday, with that southwest wind, we start seeing that increase in humidity on Sunday and Monday. Not to ridiculous levels, but that will be accompanied by an increase in air temperature as the warmer air moves in. So here we are going into Saturday. You'll see temperatures will probably be in the low 80s for highs. Sunday, mid 80s, maybe upper 80s to near 90 inland, and then Monday, if you're inland, you could be dealing with 90s, and if there's a sea breeze here, it will be probably dealing with upper 80s to around 90. It'll probably still hit 90 here in Mineola, and then just a peak at next week. The heat kind of hangs around a little bit, so next week looks kind of warm. So, again, because we talked about that ridge. Skies, let's go to that. I'm not even going to bother with anything low resolution at this point. Let's go look at the RGM here and look at the skies, because resolution counts here when you're dealing with the... So this is the cloud deck from Idalia, and you'll see we're going to be dealing with a little bit of it, and then I think it moves out. We might have clear skies by tomorrow afternoon, perhaps. It's very hard to predict that. And then for Friday, mostly sunny, not too many clouds, so we might have some smoke. Saturday, cirrus to the north, but it still may be clear over us. So that's what the RGEM shows. Let's go to the NAM as well. So again, I'm only looking at the higher resolution models at this point. The NAM's a little more aggressive in pushing the clouds out by like 2 o'clock. So that's we could see a more aggressive push of the clouds out. FV3, which I think is even more. Let's see. This is the 0Z, which I'm not going to run the 12Z. It's an old model. So that's part of it. So I think we'll, see some bluer skies in the second half of the day, and then Friday should have plenty of sunshine, but then we got to worry about the smoke. So that takes us to the next thing. The RAP smoke model. So here we go, and you'll see tomorrow. We're looking at tomorrow right now, last day of August, still clear skies. But look what happens as we get to it Friday. You see that thick smoke there heading toward us there, and it looks like it could make things quite hazy on Friday. Again, we have like these wildfires that are still continuing to burn out of control in Western Canada, and look as a whole, it looks like so. This is going to continue to be a problem. You can see the smoke there going over us. I don't think there's going to be any surface smoke. I think it would mainly be aloft, but we will run the near surface smoke and see if we do see that on the near surface smoke as well. You can see no smoke at the surface for us. You can see there's a lot of smoke at the surface in Western Canada there. It does not look like we will see any smoke at the surface from this. So if we do, it would be mainly aloft. So let's go, speaking of the smoke, let's go back and talk about the wildfires again. And let's go and look at, I want to look at a few more things here. So we got to find the satellite. Okay, let's go here and look at the Canada Northern U.S. view here. So you can again take a look at all that wildfire smoke here going on. So, and again, there is Franklin right there. There's the smoke. You see it right there. So a lot of it over Western Canada. Really, he just pours it right there. You can see. Look at all that smoke. So I have a feeling that we're going to be dealing with some hazy skies again. So, we dry out, but now we're going to deal with hazy skies from wildfire smoke. So, as far as getting a nice blue sky around here, it's like worse and harder than pulling teeth with all these wildfires going on. But fortunately, like I said, we are dodging these tropical systems for now. Let me show another thing. So, let's go to the southeastern Alaska view. This one will show the fires here, and you can see that there are actually some showers that might wind up impacting. So, look at all that smoke. This is Yellowknife and the lakes here. I think they call that Slave Lake or whatever. And you can see here, there's some showers popping up. But these could be thunderstorms with more lightning, which could trigger more wildfires. So it depends on how much rain these storms are going to produce, or if they're just going to produce a lot of lightning. But there's an incredible amount of smoke here. Just incredible. So I think we're going to be dealing with some of that. Let me go to the Alaska view as well. So we'll do the Alaska one. You can see a little bit here. You can see a little more of it here as well. So let's go back and look at some observations because we need to do that. So, and I do want to show you the buoys as well. That's not a buoy. Let's see if we can find some buoys here. Here's a buoy, just showing you the wave height. All right, it's not too crazy, 3.9 feet. But as you go, again, toward the south here, let's see if we can get something from here. 5.9 feet, so you can see the waves here, and as we get closer to the, I think we already looked at those already, not mistaken here. Wave height of 6.6 feet, and then if you go toward Bermuda here, this is where they've been dealing with some of those tropical storm-like conditions. From Franklin, there's another buoy. This one's reporting wave height of 8.5 feet, and I'm very curious how high the waves came up at this particular buoy as Franklin passed. So let's see. Oh, they don't have the wave height here? It doesn't show it on the table. Really? Maybe it doesn't show the wave height. That's nice. Alright. So I guess they don't archive that. But Franklin is out over here now. No buoys to really look at out here to look at Franklin. But now let's go and head into the hell that is Western Canada right now, because yeah, it's hot there, believe it or not. So let's take a look at some of these conditions that they had to deal with. Let's look at Yellowknife. All right, it's down to 68 now, which is good, but I think they had a pretty hot day there, if I'm not mistaken. It was hot and windy. Let's see what they got up to today. Oh, only 70. That's not too bad, actually. Visibility is 10 miles, so they must have had a north wind coming in, I guess. But I heard that the conditions were worse in some of the other areas. Let's look at Fort Providence here. 78. All right, nothing too crazy for temperatures. No visibility data here. Let's go here to the western part. Yeah, look at that. 0.62 visibility and smoke. So they really can't see anything over there. It's almost like completely very thick smoke there. 0.6, so they can't even fly the air. It doesn't look too hot, though. I see mid-70s. That's still above normal for them at this time of the year, though. So I think we're going to wrap up this weather update now. Thank you for watching. Have a good night. And again, I'm sorry I couldn't do any better covering Idalia but I have my own things to deal with as well, as you can understand. So that's going to wrap up this weather update. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.